In Montgomery County, in the wake of ongoing headlines about violent crime in Silver Spring, that has inspired new legislation to try to tackle the recent wave of violence.
Yeah, and after all these shootings in D.C., you might be wondering if violent crime is up right now. Violent crime is up this year, but not for all
starting
crimes.
to lock up some of its ATMs here in the city as early as 5 or 6 in the evening.
In Maryland, recent violent crime in Silver Spring raising concern there. And just yesterday, 3 people stabbed at a McDonald's.
Most recently, on New Year's Day, 2 men were shot and taken
locations in the city.
And that was pretty much what we're getting from people is just a mixed bag. They don't necessarily feel unsafe, at least.
I feel bad for the victim, certainly, and, I wish somebody could come up with a solution, but I don't think that's likely.
Everybody's just wild.
My name is Dan Reed. I am an urban planner with a background in architecture, and I am the Regional Policy Director for Greater Washington, which is a nonprofit that advocates for more equitable housing and transportation policies in the Greater Washington, D.C. area. My family moved here before downtown Silver Spring was redeveloped. Later on, I would ask my mom, why did we move here? And the first thing she said was, it was quiet. And that's what I remember the most about growing up. There were a lot of empty buildings, there were a lot of boarded up shops, there were people living in downtown Silver Spring, but there wasn't a whole lot to do. The way people talk about downtown Silver Spring has changed a lot. When I was little, you'd hear people talk about it sort of as if it was a dangerous area, because it had experienced a lot of disinvestment, there was a lot of abandonment, and there was some crime, right? And when what they call the redevelopment, the revitalization of downtown Silver Spring started around 2000, 2001, there were just a lot more people around. There were more people out walking, there were more people out shopping. It was really exciting, right? It was very optimistic. There have definitely been some high-profile crime issues in downtown Silver Spring, violence, people getting stabbed or shot, cars being broken into or stolen. And this is not the first time we've had this conversation in Silver Spring. 10 years ago, there were a lot of concerns about crime. It's unfortunate, right? It's scary. You want to feel safe when you go to downtown Silver Spring. I worry that people's valid fears and concerns might distract from what are the actual solutions that we need to do to make sure that downtown Silver Spring is safe and welcoming for everybody.
My name is Kate Stewart, and I'm on the Montgomery County Council representing District 4. So if we look at crime in Silver Spring, it's important to look at what type of crime we're talking about, because where we have seen an increase in crime are car thefts and what the police sometimes call crimes of opportunity. The most important thing that underscores all this is how people feel. If people don't have a feeling of being safe in their community, we really need to address
that. My name is Maxim Kenny, and I am a national government teacher at Blair. I live in downtown Silver Spring. I was getting home one evening. A young man, as I was getting to get out of my vehicle, walked up on me, brandished a gun, and instructed me to give my vehicle and my possessions to him. As a result of this incident, I no longer feel as comfortable as I did. I've now taken multiple different measures, walking my dog a lot earlier, making sure my partner is aware of where I am at all times. I've been a native of Silver Spring for at least 2 decades, and I've never experienced a crime that I'm currently seeing and experiencing. The things that would make me feel safer in the community would be, one, a larger police presence.
If we look at what our police department is doing now, they've put in place a number of things, increasing their visibility in the area. And so you'll see more foot patrols, and you'll also see more, the police working with the local businesses to put in place safety plans already, even before the legislation passes.
People will say it's important to have more police on the streets. People will say it's important to have more cameras. People will say it's important to have more surveillance. Personally, those things can be kind of uncomfortable, and I'm not sure how effective they are. And I worry that they will be used to target people who are brown and black or people who are young, because we've been doing this for years, in Silver Spring, in America.
Well, you know, I do think there's part of the community are afraid of an increase of police crime because of nationally the negative press that there has been about police officers who are not doing the job properly. And that essentially is where you're going to see problems when there's not good training and there's not good oversight. That I don't think is as much of a problem in Montgomery County.
Yes, you can increase the police presence, but the police presence needs to also look like the citizens that they are going out to assist. So if we were able to ensure that the diversity between the members that are engaging with the community, that might alleviate some of that sentiment.
People talk about police and police presence as one way to address crime, but it's also important to talk about the root causes of it as well, right? Especially there's a significant homeless population in downtown Silver Spring.
We also need to look at long-term and look at, you know, how we are addressing mental health in our communities, how we're addressing programs for young people, particularly after school, and all of those things.
We should be talking about, for instance, why do people become homeless? Is it because housing is too expensive, right? Are there mental health issues that cause people to end up living on the street? Are there social services that people need to get back on their feet, right? These are the kinds of things that if we funded, not only would we be helping people get back on their feet and no longer be homeless, we would also be improving the quality of life for everybody else.
Because it can't just be the police. It can't be just a criminal response. All right, there's something larger going on here that needs to be addressed or looked into to figure out what's the best avenue or method to bring the crime down.
I want Silver Spring to continue to be a place where everybody feels welcome and everybody wants to come. And that means it is always going to be work in progress. It's always going to be changing. It's going to be kind of messy sometimes. And that's the best part.